Welcome to the Tell Our Stories podcast. I'm Perry Chris. I know it's been a while, but welcome to Season 2. We are so excited to get to bring you more stories from across the country, and trust me, the episodes will be worth the wait. On today's episode, I got the chance to speak with team members of OneGeneration and even a drop-in from a senior participating in the program. OneGeneration is a group of communities in California with a long-standing tradition of intergenerational care. Since 1991, OneGeneration has given its adult daycare participants the chance to interact with children anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 years old. The older adults, which the kids refer to as their neighbors, get the chance to do all sorts of activities with the kids, ranging anywhere from art projects to music performances and anywhere in between. So listen in to hear the heartwarming stories from the intergenerational care programs at OneGeneration. Okay, well, thank you all so much for taking the time to share the program with us today. Can I ask you to introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Jenna House, and I am the president and CEO of OneGeneration. I've been with the organization for roughly 17 years.
Wow.
Starting out in my internship in undergrad, I was hired on as a new grad as a case manager and did that for many years, working with older adults in the field, homebound, isolated older adults specifically. And then after I got my master's degree in social work, I came back and was the director of our senior center and case management program, and then stepped into a more um, macro role as the director of strategic initiatives and
Hmm.
community-based services, overseeing our grants and strategic planning. And then more recently, I've been in this role for about 4 years.
Very cool.
Hi, Perry. I'm Michelle Quiroga Diaz. I'm Vice President of Programs here at OneGeneration. I've been with OneGeneration for about 3.5 years, but my first introduction to the organization was with my kids. Both of my kids completed and graduated through the program. So well
Oh,
before I
fantastic.
started working here, both my kids came to the child care program. As Vice President of Programs, I help to oversee our community-facing programs, such as our senior centers, transportation, nutrition, case management, our Grandparents as Parents program, and our intergenerational adult daycare.
That's fantastic.
Hi, thank you for inviting us. I am Juliana Marquez, and I'm the Intergenerational Program Specialist at OneGeneration. I've been with OneGeneration for 9 years. Started as a teacher, and just a year and a half ago, I got the opportunity to be the facilitator for the intergenerational program. So now I'm lucky enough to see the interactions happen day to day, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, thank you all for being here. I'd like to start sort of just if you can walk me through the broad strokes of the program, sort of what it looks like, how many people participate, the ages, things like that.
Sure, I can go first. So OneGeneration as a whole, you kind of think of us as like an umbrella, and we have a lot of
Hmm.
different core programs underneath that umbrella. One of them being our intergenerational shared site, adult daycare, healthcare, and infant toddler preschool program. So this is one of the programs that we are most known for, bringing together two different ends of the age spectrum under
Yeah.
one roof, allowing them to engage in different activities and, socialization opportunities while also providing them with a variety of health and wellness, social services and other resources that allow for them to stay in the home and thrive in the community while also engaging and exposing our young children to the benefits of being around older adults and just the multiple benefits that take part in the work that we do. Um, in terms of the day-to-day programs, Michelle's the expert. I'm going to let her handle this.
Sure. So I can talk about our adult day program specifically. It's a dually licensed social and medical model program that
Okay.
offers important respite for caregivers. All of the clients who participate in the adult day program are living with their loved ones, adult child or their spouse.
Hmm.
And They come into the program for social and recreational activities. It's a group environment. And it is a multidisciplinary team as well. So
Okay.
there's access to physical therapy, occupational therapy, registered dietitian, nursing services, social work services, and activities programming. And part of that activity is an intergenerational component. So turn it
Mm-hmm.
over to Juliana to talk about that piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So for the intergenerational program, we get to bond with children of the ages 6 weeks up to 6 years of age. So it's myself and my coworker Laura who we get to facilitate the interactions and just oversee the bonds. So for the children under 2, we go over to childcare to visit them, and normally those interactions, walk over 1 to 2 seniors for every interaction, and for the
Okay.
children ages 2 to 6, they come over to our side, which is the adult daycare. And we just focus on activities that are going to get them to interact with one another and create that connection. So
For sure.
even though we're working on an art piece, the main goal is not the outcome of the art piece. The goal is for them to go ahead and interact with one another, discover their similarities and their interests, and just share with one another. We
Yeah.
have
That's
been we have been very fortunate that a lot of our adult participants are a big part of this program. They really enjoy seeing the children, and some of them have even expressed that they don't do well with children. And then once
mm-hmm.
they see them come in, you see them walking into the room, or just peeking in to see what the children are doing. And little by
Oh.
little, they start becoming more and more interested in the program. We have some seniors that already know the time. So whenever they're done with their breakfast, they'll tell other workers, they're like, "Are the kids coming to, can you let them know that we're ready to go with the kids?" Sometimes I enter the room and they're like, they whisper to me, like if they're in the middle of the activity, like, "Is it time for the babies?" And all I have to do is nod my head and they already start standing up and walking over to the door so we can head over to the child care department.
That's so lovely.
Yeah,
Wow, wow, wow.
it is a really great program, and you were asking numbers. So while we serve roughly 10,000 individuals every year,
My
this
goodness.
program is a little more concentrated. So because of the needs of the individuals that we're serving,
Uh-huh.
they require constant supervision, and we do have a locked facility here. We have about 65 to 70 participants enrolled in our adult day program. On any given day, we can have anywhere between 20 and 40 participants. So it is their choice if they're not feeling well, if they have other plans, they don't need to come or they don't have to come. And then for our infant toddler preschool program, we have about 150 children enrolled in the program, and we have 12
Okay.
classrooms. So
Mm.
Juliana was mentioning that we do go back and forth between our participants in the day program visiting our children and vice versa. And
Mm-hmm.
those engagements, they reference themselves as neighbors. So we call that neighbor time.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
we'll say,
Okay.
okay, we're going to go see the neighbors, and vice versa for the younger kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just to add on to it, we are currently hosting 7 sessions a day. So we have 7 time slots where we go ahead and meet
Wow.
with where we bond both generations together. And as Jenna mentioned, we have different age groups, and some of those classrooms, when they're walking over, they have also expressed that sometimes when they don't get to come, they stay back crying because they didn't get to come to the
Oh,
neighbors. So, our program is really growing and it's becoming more and more popular with both generations.
yeah. That's outstanding. How long has the intergenerational, the sort of the neighbor program been going now?
So it's been formally a program since 1991. We've been around
Wow.
since 78, and we sort of came across this concept of bringing together 2 generations in 91 when we assumed this location that we're here, this campus, which used to be a YMCA.
Mm-hmm.
And we originally were at a different location, hosting just a recreational senior center. And our founders had this concept, why don't we bring our older adults, those that need a little bit more care and support, together with the young children. And that was
Sure.
the early 90s.
Wow. That's so that's what now over 30 years of this.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's outstanding. So you mentioned that the kids can be anywhere from, did you say 6 weeks to 6 years old?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Are there some of the kids in this program who have been coming and sort of hanging out with these neighbors for almost their whole lives now, like up to 6 years old?
Yes. Yeah.
I imagine those are some pretty close relationships then.
Yeah. I mean, I know Juliana, you've got stories to tell. I know last week when we had therapy horses come, a therapy pony
Oh,
come,
great. Yeah.
Mhm.
and we brought together the different classrooms and the participants, and in one of the classrooms there's one little boy who went straight to his neighbor's lap, and they have such a close bond, and this little boy's about 2 years old. But I know
Hmm.
Juliana probably has more stories than I do about how they remember each other, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we are going to be speaking with Sarah in a little bit. And Sarah's actually one of our favorite neighbors. I mean, the children love all of our neighbors, but Sarah
Hmm.
just brings such energy that she has like a group of little girls that are always looking for her. And the minute that they
Oh,
walk into our room, they're just like, "Where's Sarah? Where's Sarah?" And if she's not in the room, they're looking for her. They're waving to her. Even when we're in our shared patio, they always look for each other. And if they see each other through the
yeah.
fence, they'll be waving to one another. But we've also had another very close connection with one of our. He was actually in the 3-year-old class. He is now in the graduating class. And he used to call one of the neighbors his best friend. And every
Oh.
time that we would do interactions, he'll run to him and give him a hug. We were having a special event where we had a bubble expert come over, and the person brought um, different shaped wands. And that specific neighbor didn't come in until after the interaction started. And when
Hmm.
that child was playing with his friends, and when he saw his best friend, which was the neighbor, walk into the patio, he ran and got a wand and started doing bubbles with that specific neighbor.
Oh, that's
Um,
adorable.
yeah, and then once the interaction was over and it was time for them to leave, the teachers were having a hard time getting them to leave the shared patio, and they kept asking why.
Hmm.
They're like, he expressed, "I haven't given my best friend a hug." So he ran back
Oh,
to the patio and gave him a hug, and then he um he cooperated to line up and go back
then he
to
was
his
good to
class.
go.
Yes.
Sure, sure.
What's
I,
really amazing too, and what we've seen over the years is we'll occasionally get a phone call from a preschool alumni. Like I'm an
hmm.
alumni class of 2007
Yeah,
dragon, because our classrooms are named after animals.
sure.
And I'd like to come back and do my Eagle Scout project, or I help out in the adult day program, volunteer. This left such an impact on me even as a young kid. I still remember this place to this day, even though I'm
Wow.
graduating, going to college. So it really
That's
kind of
outstanding.
shows the impact. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
The impact and the stories that the children bring to their homes as well, and kind of sharing with their parents, the activity with their neighbors, and they'll talk about their neighbors. And I'm reminded around the holiday time, we do a share program, and there was a child who wanted to gift some items to his best friend, his neighbor. So very,
Hmm.
very thoughtful in how they think about their friends and their
Yeah,
neighbors, and they share those stories with their parents, and the parents become
absolutely.
very interested as well. And we do bring families in to intergenerational programming, have families talk about their own culture, and so there's sharing amongst a multi-generational way
Hmm.
also.
Yeah. I'm loving the language you guys use of neighbor, of friend, because I mean, I'm sure that to the naked eye, to people who are just looking at this at a glance, they would think of this, this could easily become a sort of the older adults are becoming sort of caregivers, but the verbiage you guys use, I mean, obviously implies that it's not. It's a back and forth. It's a friendship. It's a bond. How does that? How quickly does it sort of fall into this friendship cadence as opposed to what could be just an older person watching a 2-year old do their thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the vision that we put forward when we implement these types of intergenerational programs is that we see it as a mutually beneficial, mutually beneficial program and activity.
Yeah.
And we make sure that there's not just kind of one component participating more than the other, that there's equal participation happening, and that there are equal opportunities for both the participant and the child to express, their feelings, express, just kind of their overall, participation in the program. So, that's something that Juliana's soul, that's when people come to us from around the world, and they want to implement programs like ours, we definitely emphasize, one, that this isn't a babysitting,
Hmm.
type program. This is a mutually beneficial program for both older
Yeah.
adults and young children, and we have to treat it that way and always remember that at the forefront of whenever we develop these programs, but always also having a dedicated person that is, and this is Juliana, whose sole job is to build curriculum and making sure that we're following those goals and the overall outcome that we want to have, with these participants and children. So it's
Hmm.
really important.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
also I also would like to add. So one other way for us to build these friendships and for it to be more natural is that we don't only focus on the planned activities. We also do spontaneous visits
Sure.
where the adults are able to come and cheer for the students or for the children while they do like a sports class, while they do their yoga
Oh,
class, or we simply meet them during their outdoor play, which becomes more of a natural interaction where the children are in their comfort space, in their zone, and they just get so excited to see their neighbor, not only in the
yeah.
design space that we have, but also in the space where they feel comfortable, where they have their toys, where they feel more free. So it gives the children and the adults the opportunity to connect in a different environment and just build on that relationship and that friendship that they have in a new setting.
Yeah, absolutely. Juliana, you mentioned earlier, you mentioned art projects. There was the therapy horse, the bubbles. What are some of the other curriculum things that the program participants get to do together?
So, our activities, we have a wide variety of activities. One of the things that we do is we celebrate holidays around the world. So, we'll celebrate Christmas, we'll celebrate Hanukkah. We like to celebrate and incorporate different holidays that are celebrated by our children and by our participants. But we
Hmm.
also do cooking activities, we go on nature walks, we do arts and crafts, sports activities. For example, every now and then we do bowling, and we happen to have an adult participant that used to be on a bowling team. So
Oh my gosh.
every time he sees us pulling out the bowling pins, it brings such excitement for him because he knows that he's really good at it and he can show the children how to play and how to give them advice on how to drop the pins. We also do activities that relate to knitting to incorporate the interest of some of our older adults that enjoy crocheting and knitting.
Sure.
And we also focus the activities on interests that will enhance the children's developmental stages, their cognitive, their physical abilities, but also activities that interest them. One of the other favorite activities is like having a pretend car wash or giving babies a bath time. So we'll bring out bubbles and sponges. We'll put out the cars in a sensory bin, and they really enjoy doing that because it's a life
Yeah,
experience that they get to do with their families,
sure.
but they're also getting to enjoy it together and build that connection with each other.
Absolutely. That all sounds amazing. For the adults that participate, um, is it a hard sell at all to get them to participate? Are they all eager? Are you having to set up a waiting list? How does that work?
Mhm. No, so we have a lot of neighbors, which are our adult participants, that
Hmm.
are always eager to go ahead and participate. But sometimes when we do the first session, some of them may be having breakfast. So we always let them know that it's okay for them to, finish their breakfast and that we will invite them to go to the next session. So
Gotcha.
we try to invite all of our participants and encourage all of them to participate, and we try to rotate them so that they all have the opportunity to participate in the program.
Hmm.
But we also go based on the activity and the age group because we do have some adult participants that prefer the younger children. So whenever we do a younger interaction, that's when we invite them. And there's some of them that prefer to do the older children. So we try to go ahead and accommodate their interests and their abilities based on the activity and the age group.
Gotcha, gotcha. And it looks like we've got Sarah joining us now.
Hello. Say hello. Hi.
Hi, Sarah. It's good to meet you.
Can you hear us
Same
okay?
here, yes.
Yes,
you
I
hear
can.
me?
Absolutely. Yes. Sarah, I'd love for you to tell me about your involvement with this program.
With the kids?
Yeah,
Well, I see them, what, in the morning and in the afternoon, and it's the best part of my day.
that's
So,
great. How many days a week do you
I
get to see
love it.
them?
And whenever I'm here, it could be 3 days a week, 5 days a week, just depends on my schedule.
Sure. How many years have you been participating as a neighbor?
About 2 years.
Okay. Okay. I'd love, can you tell me about how it started? What was your first experience like, and how did you sort of get more involved with it?
Well, Laura here, she knew that I like babies. So
Hmm.
she'll come to me and she'll go like this. You want to see the babies like that? I go, yeah. I don't even know how you first knew I liked babies. I just found out from the beginning, like I said, the highlight, the babies know me. They don't cry when I hold them.
Hmm.
She takes me during their lunchtime. I help feed them. And I've given them, some of them, their bottles.
Yeah.
I haven't changed a diaper yet.
No, we won't make you do
I've
that.
done that already. Been there, done that.
So what's your favorite age groups to work with this program?
I like the infants to the 4-year-olds. I like
Okay.
all.
Sure.
I know. Oh yeah, that's all we have. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite activities to do with the older kids?
Oh, we paint, or we'll do paint usually, watercolor, or sing songs and things
Sure.
like that.
So these intergenerational programs, there's more and more happening across the country. What would you, Sarah, say to a resident at a different space around the country who's thinking about getting involved in a program like this?
If you love kids, then this is for you, and you have the patience. Because a lot of ladies here, they don't even want to be bothered. They said they're truthful. They say, I don't have the patience, because they're
Mhm.
older and they don't have the patience. But you have to have patience and a lot of love in your heart, compassion and stuff, just to be with the babies.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that there's a lot of these learning opportunities. Is there anything that you would say you've learned from the kids you get to interact with?
No, just the variety of kids, like they're all different.
Sure.
So some, are more affectionate, some aren't more affectionate, and you learn which ones are more affectionate, which ones aren't.
Yeah.
Some are very smart, too smart. Like this one little child this morning, he went and told the whole astronaut story. He knew everything. It was like he was a newscaster on TV.
That's great. Did
Yeah.
you know about the intergenerational care opportunities when you first got involved with One Generation as a whole, or did you learn that as you got more involved with the adult daycare
I
programs?
didn't learn that as a whole. My son put me here, so he could have freedom because I live with my son and daughter-in-law.
Sure.
But once I got here, I met Laura, and she learned that I love babies because I think
Hmm.
I used to watch them in the playground. I'd go come and I'd go talk to them.
Yeah. Was it a hard sell, or were you pretty quick to jump in?
Pretty quick to jump in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad that you get to have this time with the kids, and I'm sure
Yeah,
that they're thrilled to be able to interact with you every day.
thank you.
Thanks so
Right.
much, Sarah.
It warms my heart to this day. It's just
Yeah.
it makes us feel so wonderful to be able to put these bonds together and have these
Yeah.
interactions, formally, informally. It's a special place to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels, at least to me, where I'm sitting out here, it feels very much sort of like it takes a village, and to have these opportunities for the community to help out with not only the older adults but with the kids. It seems like a beautiful, beautiful thing you guys are doing over there. So something else I'd love to talk about and get your thoughts on is that I know that there is some legislation having to do with intergenerational care opportunities that's coming through the Caring Across Generations Act, just got reintroduced a few weeks ago. And if you could, if you were giving a pitch sort of to the benefits of having these intergenerational care opportunities, what would be some of the highlights that you would say and that you would hope people would sort of know about as we enter times where legislation could get passed on this?
Could or could not. It's been rough these past few weeks in the aging services field,
Mm-hmm.
general, with legislation and
Yep.
um, critical programs that the country depends on, not necessarily guaranteed to continue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's every day is a new journey for us. But I would say, well, for me, I mean, I'm a bit biased, but I just think the concept. Okay, backtrack even more. In our country, our aging population is growing rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the fastest growing populations. Our baby
Yep.
boomers are aging, and I don't know the statistics in my head. I can look it up, but it's some crazy amount of number of older adults will be aging in place and throughout our country. And we need to make sure that, first of all, we have age-friendly programs and communities be
Yeah.
evolving and taking place throughout the country. But, a really great way, an easy way to do that is to have this mindset of multi-generational households and communities and programs. It's just
Mm-hmm.
such an easy way to incorporate this rapidly growing population into the community that we're continuing to build, the community that they built for
Yeah.
us, allowing them to, recognizing the benefits of bringing together the generations so we can support one another, mainly supporting our aging community because the need for um, care for aging services is only going to grow as well. And there is a shortage in that field. So considering intergenerational workspaces, intergenerational communities, whatever kind of way you want to put it, is beneficial all around. Also,
Yeah.
raising just awareness for our youth, the importance that older adults play, and just how critical it is to keep them engaged in our lives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shell, you can probably add. We're Juliana, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to add just the importance of decreasing isolation. So it's so
Mm-hmm.
important. A lot of these connections and just the fact that our clients come into our centers, whether it's our senior center or our adult daycare, we're part of increasing their part in community and socialization. And this piece of adding an intergenerational component, it can also help with problem solving skills, the physical activity, like the right level of engagement and stimulation, particularly given that our adult daycare does specialize in the care and support of individuals that are living with memory impairment.
Mm-hmm.
So the activities can increase that level of brain stimulation. So that's one of the many benefits that we're
Yeah.
seeing specifically with the population in our adult day.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the program all around offers many benefits, not only for our seniors, but also for our children. They become so aware of how to be, you know, caring and gentle towards older people that they might see out in the community, their grandparents. It also
Mm-hmm.
allows for children who don't have their grandparents nearby or present to build that connection and find that warmth that grandparents get to offer when
Yeah.
you see them. It also allows for our seniors to feel desired and feel valuable, that they're still able to go ahead and help others. It gives them such joy to be able to know, like, oh, today I got to help a child, or I did this, which is like something that they may not be able to do on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
And I just feel like the more that you get to witness and see these interactions and these connections, you realize how many benefits it brings, just by joining together for 20 to 30 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love what you're saying about this sort of helping both generations learn about the other, because that's sort of, in a broader sense, that's why we have this podcast here, is that this is a sector of our population that is, I think, vastly misunderstood. And so I think it's fantastic that you guys are able to sort of help teach the younger generation that, there's so much life left in these people and so much love to give and things like that. So,
Yeah, well, we
um,
also have, and I don't know if Juliana mentioned it or not. So in addition to the children, the young children, in the preschool and infant toddler program, we have this other great evidence-based 8-week intergenerational program called Sages and Seekers.
oh,
So
okay.
this is another intergenerational program that we do out in the community where we recruit active, independent older adults with local high school, middle school, high school, and college age young adults and teens. And through this 8-week program, we create opportunities for our sages and our seekers, our older adults and our young children, our young teens, youth, to form these connections and have difficult conversations with one another, and really sort of understand the commonalities and similarities between the two generations.
Yeah.
This program is actually something that's being offered throughout the country in other states. Like I said, it is an evidence base where we've had research done on the impact and benefits of both our younger teens. And, it's really funny. I used to be a facilitator. Juliana is currently the facilitator for the program here in the Valley, programs in the Valley. And when the teens first come over and they're like, I don't know if I like this, they're kind of like, oh, I have to be around an old person for 8 weeks.
Very
And then
teenager,
by
yeah.
the end, we have this ceremony. It's like a tribute where our seekers, they write like a 1-page tribute to their sage of how meaningful this experience was. And
Yeah.
100% of the time, our seekers just really express so much gratitude of how much they've learned, and also vice versa. Our sages, they say, this has been an eye-opening opportunity for me as well, because I'm able to kind of understand the challenges and the life struggles that our teens are facing nowadays in
Sure.
modern time, and can help provide any, knowledge or, encouragement for that
Yeah.
population. So it's mutually beneficial as well. It's an amazing
Absolutely.
program.
Yeah, that sounds outstanding.
Yeah.
If people are looking to find out more about not only that program, but OneGeneration and what you guys do, where's a place they can head?
Easiest place is probably our website, onegeneration.org, and it's spelled out ONE generation. Or you can just, if you Google us, you'll be able to find us on all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram. I think it's OneGen Cares, X, Twitter, LinkedIn. We have a YouTube channel as well.
Oh, great.
So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time today. It's been fantastic to learn more about this program, and I hope that you guys keep getting to deliver the amazing care you already do.
Thank you. And thank you for reaching out and your interest. We really appreciate it, and hope that, we can encourage our communities to bring together generations in the
Yeah.
future.
Absolutely. I want to extend another big thank you to Jenna, Michelle, Juliana, and Sarah for taking the time to share this program with me. As you can hear in their stories, the benefits of intergenerational care are numerous, and not just for the older adults, but for the kids and their parents. And as a first for the Tell Our Stories podcast, I have an ask of you, the listener. As I mentioned during the conversation, there is legislation in Congress around funding intergenerational care programs like the one at OneGeneration. So please, write, email, or call your representative and tell them that you support the Care Across Generations Act, or H.R. 1812 if you want to get technical. And together we can grow these opportunities for communities across the country. For more information on this bill, you can head to tellourstories.com. Check under the Advocacy tab and navigate to the key issues, and you'll find more information. If you want to see more from the program participants at OneGeneration, you can learn more at onegeneration.org. And as always, you can hear more from us at Tell Our Stories on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, or at TOS Senior Care on X and LinkedIn. Additionally, if you want to see the video from today's podcast, you can find the full episode on our YouTube channel. Just search Tell Our Stories. And keep an eye on that YouTube channel, as we have lots of video projects we are excited to share with you this year. If you or someone you know has a story to share, please reach out to us on any of our social media accounts or send us an email at info@tellourstories.com. Thanks for tuning in.